So we just got finished with our day. Everybody's heading out. We had the pleasure of visiting City Hall.
Hold on, yeah, we got it.
We got to talk to some great council members from the Hood Caucus. Council member Kevin Riley, Council member Nantasha Williams, and Council member Althea Stevens. They dropped some gems to us just about how do we get involved in politics, how we help change New York City. Check it. I don't know who wants to start it up, but like, I personally feel like the Hood Caucus is a big deal because a lot of people at home right now feel like the government or politics doesn't really like cater to them or is paying attention to them. And you guys coming together, I feel like it's going to speak volumes to a lot of people who are sitting at home seeing what our council members are doing. So care to share what was like the inspiration behind teaming up together?
I think the inspiration for the Hood Caucus was us realizing that there are voices within our community that aren't being elevated, and that's what we wanted to do. So something that you spoke about earlier was saying like, hey, how do people within our community get involved in government? They don't see a comfortable space for them to get involved with government, and I think that's what we try to create with the Hood Caucus. We try to bring policy and issue solving to our communities, especially the hood. We represent hoods, in New York City. So, and I'll toss it to the.
I just want to give credit to Nantasha because the reality is the Hood Caucus actually came out of her and us being like jokey and silly and like us coming in as new members and just being able to connect on like where we're from and how we are really pushing forward like we are from the hood and that's okay too. And like you can come from the hood and still be in politics and still be educated and still be all these things and both of those things exist. So I think that we've really just been trying to connect the gap. I was saying this the other day, I was Harlem bred and Bronx made me, and that's the reality of what it is. And I've come from the streets and all those things, but I'm also here to show young people and people from our community that it's important for them to have a voice in these spaces. And if we really want to see change, this is one of the ways that we can do that.
Like you said, is like uplifting voices and really giving people that inspiration to get involved because if you feel like no one's out there trying to advocate for you, you get discouraged to advocate for yourself. And like you guys being here alone is a testament to that. So, Natasha, you care to share a little bit about like just since it was like kind of like your brain baby?
No, I like catchy stuff. And I think catchy stuff, people catch on to that. And so, when people think about politics, they think stuffy. Even like the name Hood Caucus, everybody like laughs at us.
They didn't like that.
They don't like the name because they're like, why you saying Hood Caucus? Yeah, but I'm just like, but that's what people say in our communities. People say, I'm in the hood all the time. And I think bringing that type of language and making it something exactly what Councilmember Stevens said. It's like, yeah, we saying Hood Caucus, but we're also council members. We're also educated. We're also pushing things that have direct impact on people's lives. And so, the Hood Caucus moniker is really just like catchy. We wanted to like, what's catchy? What can we say that will resonate with people that look like us? Like people don't even know what constituents are. So when I say constituents, they're like, what? Like districts. No, it's our neighborhoods. A part of neighborhoods is a hood. And so we're speaking about the neighborhoods in our communities. So.
No, actually, and the language is one because, like, if I read a law, if the average person reads the law, just reads what's going on, they will not understand the
Sometimes
verbiage.
I read these laws and I don't know what it says.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Let's be real. I mean, an average person and sometimes even us, it's like, wait, what is this? And we need to dig deeper. But, how do we then make sure it's accessible? Because that's the other piece. A lot of things are happening and moving and you don't even know the meanings of some of these things and you have to dig deeper. And I think us as legislators, specifically when we're talking about how do we make sure young people are understanding it, how do we then translate that information to everybody and get it out to them in real English? Because it's intentional that people don't understand those things.
Real English that the hood could understand. Like my man, you can't vote because people don't want you to vote.
Right.
Real English that the hood could understand.
Take my advice, live a better life. How they want us smoke, I wanna give them hope. I was 9 years
Kevin is from my district actually, so this is kind of close to home because we uptown in the Bronx. And I got firsthand experience in seeing all the great work he does in our community and how he gets so many people involved and inspired to participate. So Kevin, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I want to give a shout out to New York Touch because there aren't enough platforms that highlight what's going on within our community. So the fact that you guys are actually tapping into elected official, business owners, you know, other stakeholders within the community and letting them know what's going on, I think that's very important. So shout out to you guys as well.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Because just growing up in the Bronx, you know, I haven't really been in tune with politics until I graduated college, came back, and I got to see my neighborhood from a different scope. And just seeing the people that I grew up with kind of still there doing some of the same things. Some people try to shoot for the stars. Other people stay a little bit more comfortable. But nonetheless, one thing I know that's common is that a lot of people don't have the proper information just to get involved in politics and how those politics affect their everyday life. And the first question I just wanted to ask you is, like, what inspired you to even get in the arena?
So my first job was at the New York Public Library. And when I was in college, I went to SUNY College of Westbury, joined the frat Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And my fraternity brother, who was a journalist, Jonathan Hicks for New York Times, God rest his soul, he introduced me to Carl Hasty, who wasn't the speaker at that time. So at that time, my major was politics, economics, and law. My mother's Jamaican. She wanted me to go become a lawyer, so that's why that was my major. But then, as he introduced me to Carl, I was able to be at the table when Carl was making his decision to run for county leader, and Ruben Diaz Jr. was making the decision to run for borough president. And these dudes were just regular dudes, you know what I mean? Growing up, we think politicians are just old white guys. But seeing these two dudes that look just like me, I'm like, yo, let me try this out. I started the internship. It was 1 block away from my first job, which was at the library. So then I got engaged with the problems that were happening in my hood. And I just wanted to make sure I was able to, you know, address them.
You know, I love that, and it's good to see like politicians with passion. You know, because a lot of people get into their.
I don't like to refer to myself as a politician. I like to refer to myself as a public servant. You know why? Because I get a lot of great currency from helping people. So when I'm able to help people out and I get gratification that I actually help address the issue, I feel fulfilled from that. So I like to say I'm a public servant because this job is just for, you know, a short period of time.
And people definitely see you all around. There's actually like a viral clip of you going around with the How Many Stops Act and your testimony there. You were being vulnerable in the moment, you know? You were able to talk about your experiences not only just as a council member, a public servant, but a black man in that role. And I feel like a lot of our legislation or just the media don't really focus on what that's like. You ever feel like when you're roaming the city, even though with your title now, that you're like susceptible to like systemic stuff like that?
All the time. I even tell you this, when I'm coming to City Hall, if I don't have this full suit on today, I get stopped at the gate. If I'm not wearing my pin, people don't recognize I'm a council member. So these are things I still have to deal with on a daily basis. I actually had a constituent come to me one time and say, "I never see you," and I see her in the gym every day. So you know, it's kind of, you know, a bad feeling, but it just uplifts me, encourages me to do more outreach and try to tap into different pockets in the community where I could kind of, you know, have more of an influence on.
Yeah, and I enjoy it too. And speaking of like the gym, like your health and just following you, I know that you put that in the forefront, especially like Black men's health. Do you care to kind of talk a little bit about it? What inspired you to be so into it? What
so inspired me, a lot of people don't know, when I graduated from college, everyone had the college 15, I got the college 50. So when I graduated from college, I was almost pre-diabetic. So when I went to get my checkup, I was almost pre-diabetic. So I wanted to make sure that fitness was a priority for me. At that time, the Bronx, there's 62 counties in New York State. There was a campaign started by our older borough president, Ruben Diaz Jr., called Not 62, where he said the Bronx is tired of being 62 out of 62 when it comes to health. So I usually go around and, you know, you work out too. We put up videos, and sometimes you see a video and like, oh man, I didn't get to work out today. I didn't get to tap into my health. And a lot of times with Black men, we don't really go and tap into our health until it's too late. So I'm trying to encourage more Black men to go get checked, take care of your health, but not only your physical health, your mental health as well.
And that's huge because, like, I feel like now, like, physical health is super important. Everybody out there, make sure you get your 6 months, your yearly visits. Like, you never know, even if you don't have any symptoms, go out there. But more importantly, too, like your mental health. And now living in New York City, just a fast-paced city, a city that's so rooted around money and the grind, people don't really stop to, like, check on you, how you are. And I noticed that even with your mentorship throughout the Bronx, like you're checking in with young people and getting them the space to actually speak about it. The biggest thing for me that I noticed, like, with what you represent is just, like, for someone like me, was like me. Now I'm more politically inclined, but prior to, like, if I'm just a regular dude, I'm outside with my friends, or I'm watching the game in the crib, if I'm passionate about my community, I just don't know where to start. Like, what would your advice be for someone that wants to get started? Like, where should they go? What should they look into? What should they join?
Well, the first, it's important. You brought up the mentorship group. I have a mentorship group in the district called Limitless Leaders that I started last year, where I'm trying to expose young men of color to different career paths and give them some form of mentorship and guidance. A lot of them weren't knowledgeable or cognizant about civic engagement or civic duties. So, and that happens within the hood, and it's not no one's fault within the hood. It's a lot of issues with how the governmental system has, taken place for so long. So what I would suggest for anyone that's trying to get involved into politics, find out who represents you first. Yeah. So you could kind of see what they stand for, what their priorities are, what their political ideologies are, and then see, all right, is this someone I can connect with? And then think of issues that you actually want to work on. There's tons of issues within our community, from public safety to quality of life, sanitation. Figure out issues that you want to work with in your neighborhood. Something I personally do in my neighborhood, I got a lot of brothers that want to do activities to keep kids off the street. So what I do is I encourage them to start their own nonprofits, and we have a process called discretionary funding, where we're able to give government funding to them for them to do programming. Okay. So that's one way that I'm trying to encourage more people to be more civically engaged, because like we said, we thought all politicians were all white dudes that wore suits. When you come in, usually I'm not like this. I like to connect before I could correct anything. Okay. So how I'm able to connect with you that's how we have to do it.
From the booth to the streets, we here, New York touch. Go catch